All right, we have huge news in the sports world, the sports betting world, and the sports media landscape. Penn Entertainment and ESPN have announced a massive partnership that's going to bring in the so-called worldwide leader in sports into the sports gambling market. This is huge news, and as a result, Penn has sold 100% of Barstool Sports back to co-founder Dave Portnoy. This is huge, folks, massive. So many things going on with this. It's a big, big deal. It affects everything going on in sports gambling and sports media. Let's get into the first thing. Penn and ESPN. This is a big acquisition or partnership. They're going to be launching ESPN Bet to get ESPN into the sports gambling world. They've rebranded from Barstool Sportsbook to now ESPN Bet. The partnership is $1.5 million. Penn is paying ESPN to use their likenesses, talents, all this stuff, get them into the 16 states that currently have legalized sports gambling. And there's a lot of legislation in a lot of other states. This is the way the country is going. I've been a vocal advocate for legalized sports gambling, and now everybody's wanted ESPN. They're going to be in it. This is huge news. Now ESPN's got to have a little bit they got to give. They got to buy 31 million shares of Penn stock, resulting in $500 million over 10-year period this partnership's going through. So this is big, folks. Two massive companies getting a huge partnership done, getting ESPN, sports icon, everybody knows ESPN, into the gambling world. I think they're going to get a lot of more casuals into the sports gambling. Plus, you're going to allow for on-air anchors to be very vocal, very talkative on what lines are, what gambling things they're doing, just a whole bunch of extra content that we want to have when talking about sports. Honestly, if you're talking about a football game and you're not talking about what the line is in Vegas, you're not doing a good job to really scale what this game is going to look like. So this is a huge deal. I think it's going to be very successful. And now with the ESPN branding behind it, they're going to be able to lobby other states to get this thing legalized. This is a huge deal for them. And they've really shown almost a 25% increase in Penn stock in after hours. And DraftKings, who has been partnered with ESPN for advertising and stuff like that, took a 10% hit. And this is all after hours. So big movement in the sports gambling world. Very interesting to see. Now, on the other side, Barstool Sports, Penn had just spent $551 million in total since 2019 to fully acquire Barstool Sports, $388 million of it just this year to get the entire thing. And the partnership is already done. They sold it back to Dave Portnoy. There are no announcements on how much Dave paid for this, but honestly, Dave probably made that money in his Penn stock that I know he had a shit ton of. With the raise and the deal with ESPN, he probably made the money that it cost to buy back Barstool with all his stock options. Now, Penn also gets a 50% share of anything he does with Barstool if he decides to sell it. So if he does decide to sell it to another big company again, they will get 50% of that sale. But he seems like he's not going to do it. Let's just listen to El Presidente himself to see what he had to say about the big news.
Maybe the biggest emergency press conference that we have ever had here at Barstool Sports. Where to start? Penn Entertainment and Barstool Sports have gone our separate ways. As of this moment, while you were watching this video, I have purchased back Barstool Sports from Penn. So that is right. For the first time in a decade, I own 100% of Barstool Sports. Not since the Chernin deal have I been in total control of everything. Why did it happen? How did it happen? Well, I think Penn, who I have nothing but great things to say, I've said that all the way along with the Penn relationship. I have nothing but the most respect from Jay, his whole team, everything. We did this deal about 3 years ago, and I think both parties are like, we're going to take this thing to the moon. And we underestimated just how tough it is for myself and Barstool to operate in a regulated world where gambling regulators, the New York Times, Business Insider, hit pieces, fucking with the stock price. Every time we did something, it was one step forward, two steps back.
See, that is a big key right there. The regulators and the nonsense. Now, Barstool does not have a squeaky clean image. Say what you want about them. I like their content. Most people do like their content who are sports watchers. They're edgy. It's just how guys talk about sports. Nobody is hoity-toity like Suits at ESPN. That's very corporate sports. When you're with your buddies, you're just dirty sports, man. And that's what made Barstool great and enjoyable. But you can't have that in a regulated corporate world. Barstool, the hurdles to go through. Like I said, gambling regulations are very strict, very tough to deal with. So it makes sense. He goes on to say how he's not going to sell Barstool ever again, so he's not going to have to worry about that 50% or whatever. But this is huge. They're going to be focused on content now. No more Barstool Sportsbook. I know that's tough. They've opened a lot of locations recently. They've split up some of the guys. We got Barstool Chicago now, Barstool New York with most of the, it's just split, but they're going to get back to good old-fashioned content, and that's what we've been severely lacking in today's sports world. I'm one to talk. I do this because I think there is a hole to fill with analysis, insight, opinions. I mean, a lot of the sports talk these days are 50-second garbage hit pieces, man. Just like saying the most ridiculous shit, getting printed up somewhere, people talk about it, making stories out of nothing. It's just not good coverage. They don't dig down deep. They don't do the research needed for this stuff. And hopefully that's what Barstool gets back to. The nitty gritty, doing the work to get things done. Because they've definitely fallen off since this Penn acquisition, since they've not had full control. The quality of the content has dropped down. Now you can say they're getting older, I'm getting older. Maybe it just doesn't quite fit me anymore. But I think there's definitely a huge market for the right kind of sports coverage. And it's a big, big deal. So big news in the sports world. Dave's back at Barstool, 100% control of Barstool, Penn Entertainment, and ESPN. ESPN Bet set to launch right away here. The football season is coming up. It is the biggest time of the year for gambling and sports gambling. So expect to see it. It'll be very interesting to see how ESPN approaches their on-air coverage with this partnership. I'm sure you'll see a lot of promotions within the ESPN Bet app and stuff like that. So a lot of really good stuff. It feels like the sports betting world is getting a lot better. And now the sports media coverage world is also getting back to where it needs to be. So I'm very excited for this. It should be a lot of fun. I'll be interested to see how this thing plays out. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you glad Dave's back in control of Barstool? Are you excited to see ESPN dip into the sports betting world? When will we get it legalized in all 50 of these United States? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.